You're watching Caribbean Today on YouTube. In a story that reads like a political thriller, the leader of Guyana's newest opposition party finds himself at the center of international controversy, just weeks after leading his We Invest in Nationhood party, also known as WIN, to a stunning result in Guyana's general elections. Azruddin Mohamed, businessman turned politician, has been indicted by a United States grand jury. The charges: wire fraud, mail fraud, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. If committed, Mohammed and his father, prominent businessman Nazir Shell Mohammed, could each face up to 20 years in prison per count, fines reaching hundreds of thousands of US dollars, and the forfeiture of millions in property assets. According to US prosecutors, the case centers on what they call a sophisticated scheme of deception, one that allegedly allowed the Mohammeds' gold exporting enterprise to evade taxes and royalties owed to the government of Guyana. Court documents unsealed this week in the Southern District of Florida claim that between 2017 and 2024, the defendants conspired to enrich themselves unlawfully by reusing official shipping materials from the Guyana Revenue Authority and the Guyana Gold Board. Investigators allege that empty boxes still bearing authentic government seals were reused to make new gold shipments appear legitimate, as though taxes had been paid when in fact they had not. The U.S. indictment also accuses both men of paying bribes to Guyanese officials, including customs officers, to facilitate the shipments and avoid scrutiny. The alleged paper trail doesn't end there. Prosecutors say that Azruddin Mohamed personally arranged for the purchase of a $680,000 Lamborghini in California, which was later shipped to Guyana using falsified invoices claiming the car cost only $75,000. By doing so, investigators alleged he dodged over $1 million in import taxes owed to Guyanese authorities. If these charges sound familiar, it's because the Mohammeds were already sanctioned in 2024 by the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, accused then of corruption and gold smuggling activities. But this time, the allegations carry potential prison sentences, not just sanctions. And the U.S. Department of Justice wants more than just convictions for both men. It's seeking to seize assets, including a $5.3 million shipment of gold bars detained at Miami International Airport last year, and property that federal prosecutors say represents the proceeds of the alleged crimes. But in Georgetown, the story sounds very different. Mohammed, who only a month ago shocked Guyana's political establishment by winning 16 parliamentary seats with a 3-month-old party, says he's been targeted. In a fiery statement posted to social media, Mohammed insists he and his father are innocent and will fight any U.S. extradition request in court. "We're going to fight it here," Mohammed stated after news of his indictment. "I'm innocent of all these charges and I know it's heavily political." He calls the indictments part of a campaign of fear led by the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic, also known as the PPPC, and claims the government is deliberately delaying the opening of Parliament to silence his new movement. "This is not just a personal attack," Mohammed has said. "This is political. This is a fear tactic. My emergence into Parliament after campaigning for only 3 months," he claims, "sends a clear message of how quickly our movement has changed the political landscape." And in a direct accusation, he claimed the Irfan Ali government had spent thousands of US dollars hiring a lobby firm in Washington whose sole purpose is to smear and marginalize political opponents. To win party supporters, the timing indeed raises eyebrows. Barely a month ago, Win emerged as the main opposition in Guyana's National Assembly, upending decades of two-party dominance. The Guyanese government and the PPPC leadership have categorically denied any involvement in the U.S. legal proceedings. Officials say the matter is strictly one of U.S. jurisdiction and that the charges were brought independently of Georgetown's political landscape. Still, the optics are undeniable. An opposition leader newly elevated to national prominence, now facing an international indictment from Washington. And in a country where politics and personality are deeply intertwined, perception often matters as much as proof. For Azruddin Mohamed, this is now a fight on two fronts, legal and political. Legally, he faces the full weight of the U.S. justice system, with prosecutors seeking up to 20 years on each fraud count and 20 more for alleged money laundering, plus the forfeiture of assets tied to the case. Politically, he's framing the ordeal as a test of Guyanese democracy itself, claiming that those in power are weaponizing international influence to destroy domestic opponents. The constant attacks, he said, are meant to weaken me, hoping that if they hit hard enough, I'll cower and retreat. But I will not be silenced. I will not fear. In a nation where politics often feels like a contact sport, this case has struck a nerve. Whether this is corruption exposed or politics weaponized will be decided in time. But one thing is clear, the stakes could not be higher for Wind Party leader Azruddin Mohamed. At CaribbeanToday.com, we cover your world.